Just a quick flick through, it'll be a very quick through of a few places that I think give us a few ideas. So this is in Highbury where I live, and you can see a very big street with a post-war block because this street was bombed, and then somebody who has built 2 houses there in the garden of what was a derelict house before, and I'll show you the derelict house in a minute, which has been turned into 6 flats. There's the derelict house, now 6 flats. I mean, believe it or not, now that's really seriously posh, but that was completely derelict for 20 years, like, totally. This is another street near us where these were all car garages, and somebody got the very bright idea of turning car garages into housing. This is a little estate, but I talked about Islington's estate, and you're a very, very ordinary little estate with very beautiful flats. Such a lovely little place to live, and everybody really likes it. This was a church, and it still is a church. It's a church on the ground floor, it's a community centre there, and it's flats at the top. This was another church actually, but the church moved on and they turned it into little mini houses next to big houses. These were shops and they turned those into houses. These were toilets, they turned these into houses. This was a factory, they turned these into houses. And this is the tower block at Highbury Corner. Now, who would believe that that complete jam of noisy buses and other traffic would be so popular? It's not so popular because of the trees. The trees are there now. They weren't there 20 years ago. So Islington, to make up for not having open space, planted trees like mad people. And Highbury Corner is now a nature reserve, apparently. And the people in the tower are jolly pleased, and it keeps out some of the traffic noise. This, on the other hand, is Hackney Estate, the Hagston, some of you will probably know it, definitely should not be being knocked down. It's probably gone by now. And I'll show you why. This is what the people do when they moved out. They didn't want to go. And where are they going to go? They're not going to get these flats on the canal. It's really worth walking down the canal just to see that site, and just to remind yourselves what happens when you uproot communities and when you tell people, very, very diverse people, as you can see, who just did not want to go and aren't going to be better houses for yourself, whatever anybody says. But then there are lots of interesting things to see along the ground, lots of council estates, another block, and a little man who's claimed that bit of land and built a house on it. I thought that was pretty clever. I think it was just a boat landing. And then people actually claim boats as well. So that's just to show you that you can actually make something out of nothing. The Camden bit of the canal is a bit posher, actually. This is when you get the Docklands Light Railway to East India Dock. It's only 20 minutes from the Bank of England. For sale. Has everybody noticed the price? Okay. Just wanted to make an important point. You have to look at why Camden is in the trouble it's in. It's a very, very popular place. It's bang on the centre. Nothing that anybody can do in this room is going to change that. That's really sad. But we do have to remember that London is a bit bigger than just Camden. And just to show you just how difficult the area right next to the Bocca Flats is, which will give you some explanation of why there are only 63,000. But then look, this is the other side. So you're in a really, really weird place. And then you look at this that got saved right down by the river. And then you look at this little infill development. This was some very, very contaminated pit that they cleaned up. And as you can see, it's now the beginning of a very nice little environment with lots of the flats I was showing you. So that's the £63,000 block at the back there. That's all I wanted to show you. Just to show that if you look at spaces differently, you can actually see housing. And if you look at housing differently, you can see communities.